Hey guys, it's Jason with the Boardgame Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at Wisdom of Solomon. Alright, Wisdom of Solomon is a game by Philip Dubarry with some updates by Lance Hill. This is from Phantasio and Funhill Games. This is a 2 to 5 player game that probably plays from 60 to 90 minutes. What you're trying to do in this is you're trying to rebuild the temple in Israel. You're trying to build some buildings for your own tribe, so to speak. And you're trying to go around Israel in certain areas to collect resources and put trading houses out to grow your network to make worker placement spots amazingly powerful. And there's also some spaces where you can go trade some goods for other goods and buy some goods. My explanation here is probably not going to do it justice, so let's just go down to the table and see how it plays. Alright, so here I have Wisdom of Solomon set up for a 2-player game. In a 2-player game, we put temple tiles in all of the spaces except for the ones that say 3 to 5 and 4 or 5. We can use any of the worker placement spaces that are blank, nothing that has 3 to 5 or 4 to 5. The market gets seated accordingly like this, with 2 of each of the goods in the bottom 2 spaces. We block up 5 areas in each of the spots that you'd randomly draw out of a bag. So in this case, we blocked off Judah, Moab, Ammon, Geshur, and Hamath. And each player will get 2 fortune cards to start the game. We also set up 4 random building cards along with the face-up card of the deck, just so we have some goals to shoot for when we're building. And we'll give the wisest player, according to the rule book, the first player marker, so we'll give it to yellow. And each player also has a point marker on the 10 space. All right, so the way Wisdom of Solomon works is it's normal worker placement rules. So you're gonna go to a spot, you're gonna take some actions. Let me explain some spots with the red player's pawn. So first place you can go to is the trading spot. I think it's called the trader. So to go to the trader, you're gonna put a guy, your little worker, in that space. And there's gonna be a cube, a key that says you can trade 1 cube for 2 of any other cube. So say I had a gray cube and I needed some brown cubes. I could trade in my gray cube to the supply and I could take 2 brown cubes. You're not allowed to take blue. So anything you can do any kind of trade you want except for blue. Then you can go to the market, which is the next space. When you go to the market, that's going to let you buy or sell goods in the market based on the value. So if you see under these, there's a 1 and a 2. So if I bought this first gray one, it would be a 1. If I wanted to buy this next gray one, it would be 2 more. I had to spend $3. Money is points. Points is money, also known as favor. And also I could sell cubes from my supply to the bank or to the market to the next empty space. So if I sold a gray cube here, it would be 3. You can do up to 3 combination of buying and selling. Also, when you go here, you can play a fortune card that you have in your hand. So say the red player wanted to play a card and they decided they wanted to play this one. This one says you may collect exotic goods instead of the indicated resources for any future worker placed at a location this year. You can play that card, and then anytime the red player needs to gather some goods, they can take exotic, also known as blue, from the bank, and they can put them in their supply. So that's the trader and the market. Next place you can go is the builder. So what the builder does is let you cash in goods for buildings. So say I wanted to build the stone quarry. I would need 2, I think it's bronze, 2 bronze and a lumber. I cash it into the supply. I would get these points, so the 2 plus the additional bonus points of 7 of wherever it's next to in the building row. So I would adjust my points by 9. So I'd be at 19. I would take the card and I would put it next to me in my supply. And then that's going to give me a special ability at the end, or every time it applies. So whenever I go to a gray area, I would collect 2 resources instead, or 2 additional gray resources. These don't refill to the end of the year, so that would stay like that. Next player could go there and build what they want to. They only have the choice of this. You can also buy the top one, but you get no bonus points. Up here, these are the holy places. These have a little different rules, so we'll just come back to those. The next place you can go is you can go to the temple. When you go to the temple, you're going to be able to draw a fortune card. So say I went there, I would draw this new fortune card. We would do, just showing you what it says, take a building card, so I get a free building card if I got to play it. But again, you can only play at the trader and the merchant. So when you go here, you have two options. You're going to turn in either a stone, a lumber, or a food, or a gold and a copper to randomly take one of these building tiles. So say I did that, I'll say I paid the 3, because that's what I have. I'm going to take one randomly. Ooh, 10 points. They range from 6 to 10. This goes that face down with your player pieces until the end of the game, and then you'll reveal and you'll get those additional points tacked onto your score. Now, the way this is trickier than some of the other places is, say the yellow player also wanted to go there. So they went to the temple space as well. Now, they have to pay the required goods plus one additional good for every other worker that's in that spot. So since the red player is there, they're going to pay a gold, a copper, and then one of anything else. Because more people were there influencing the priest in the temple, so they're going to have to one up them in a sacrifice or an offering or whatever. So that's how that works. It's just going to get more expensive. And as you can see, as many people can go there as there are spaces. It's not blocked off for player count. So in a 2-player game, you could go there, each of you could go there 3 times, one person could go there 4. So, but that'd be super expensive. Next places you can go are the spaces in Israel right here. You can go to any place that has a white circle, and once you go there, no one else can go there. So say I went to Sinai, that's the only place on the board that offers me blue. I would just take a blue cube, and that's it. Those are simple worker placement, collect resources. One more thing, when you're building a building, you also get to take a road from the supply, and you get to place a building down in any space. So say when I went over here to build, I also put my building here, and I'll say I built a road right here. So what that means is, in a future turn, when I go to this space, if I go to Negeb, I'm going to collect the resources from here, and since I have a network that's running into Sinai, I will also collect that blue resource. So networks are going to be a way to expand your influence through Israel, and the more connections you have, the more good you're going to be able to collect. But if yellow, say I had a route from here over to here and to here, if I don't have a building over here, I'm not going to be able to collect goods. You can only collect goods where you have a trading house. So until I get a house built over here, which I can't in a 2-player game, the connection that I built is non-existent. It's not going to help me out. I just get to collect from the blue, which I built a road here and here, but not from here because I don't have a house over there. So that's how that works. Next is the last place you can go is the holy places. So these are a little different. So what happens here is, say, just for the sake of example, I've placed 3 workers out on the board. Red has placed 3 workers out on the board, and they have 3 workers left. In order to use one of these holy places, you have to put all the rest of your remaining workers on that spot. So essentially you're passing for the year. You're going to be done. So say I wanted to go to the Ark of the Covenant. I could go there, I'm going to immediately get a draw 3 favor cards, or fortune cards. So I'm just going to take them, 2, 3, got 3 new cards, just put them down. They're mine to play in a future turn. Now, everyone else is going to get to keep taking turns, and I'm done until the end of the year because I put all the rest of my remaining people there to take advantage of that really powerful spot. Also, the first person that goes to one of those places becomes the new first player. So in this case, red was already the first player. They'll remain first player. Here is the menorah. What this means is any player that has greater than or equal to 7, any opponent that has greater than or equal to 7 has to give you half. Has to give the player that goes there half of their resources. So if you see somebody gathering up some goods to make some big plays, it may be in your benefit to go to that spot and just take people's resources. That really doesn't go over well. Next is the altar of incense. That's a really simple one. You get an exotic cube, blue wild cube, and 8 points / 8 money. Then the table of presents. This is pretty basic too. You just get one of every resource. So if you go there, you're going to take one of every resource in the bank, and it's going to help you to do some building later on at the end of the turn. So after everybody's done all their placements for the year, you're going to refill buildings. They're going to slide down. So we'll slide them down. Say I slid it down, just pretend. Put that there and then flip a new one. You're going to slide any cubes that were bought. So for sake of example here, you're going to slide any cubes that were bought down, and then you're going to refill back up to 2 in a 2-player game. And then you're going to take all your workers back. And then you start the second year. Game is going to end when one player has all their houses out on the board, or all the temple tiles are gone. It will end at the end of that year. So that's a quick overview of how to play Wisdom of Solomon. Let's go back up to the top and see what we think about it. All right, so that was Wisdom of Solomon. This game is incredible. It's standard worker placement stuff, but the theme really drives it home for me. I like games that have a nice biblical touch because there aren't a ton of those, and it's nice to see one outside of Bibleopoly or Bible Trivia that actually gives you a real game with some biblical history or religious theme thrown in. That's cool to me. So yeah, I like the updates that have been done to this. In Kingdom of Solomon, everything was done in phases. So there was a phase where you placed your workers. There was a phase where you took all your workers off. There was a market phase. Then there was a building phase. Here, in this one, you're just putting your worker down, normal worker placement style, and then getting what the space gives you. That makes it a lot less confusing, less tricky as what's going to happen next, like which of these workers do I pull off first. That is much more of a better mechanism than in the previous game. I like the art better. It was a lot of green and brown in the old one. This one has some color and the board is really pretty. The cover of the box is really gorgeous. Yeah, I love this. My one critique that I have about it is it feels like there aren't enough resources. And I know that it's supposed to make the game trickier and, tighter, but I like when I can have resources to do what I need to do. And especially since there's that one spot in the holy place where if somebody has more than 7, they can get hit and have to give you a bunch of theirs. If there aren't a bunch of resources left, that bot seems less powerful to me. Also, I think some of the fortune cards might be better than others. I had some that in a few of my plays that I didn't even get to use because it didn't come up in any other place. Or every time I went to a space I couldn't use it because it wasn't applicable. But, I mean, that's minor nitpick, I guess. This is a fun game. I am a big fan of Philip DuBarry's work with Revolution. I like Kingdom of Solomon. I like Spirits of the Rice Paddy. My co-host loves Black Orchestra. Philip DuBarry is a design genius, and this is a great game. Definitely needs to be checked out. If you're interested in worker placement with good biblical theme, or not, if you just like a good worker placement game, this might be the game for you. So go check it out. And I highly recommend everybody get this in collection to just have an amazing game that is fun and doesn't take too long. And man, I've said enough. Hope you enjoy this review and go check out the game. See ya.